When the sky has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand out. Stand by me. Stand by me. When the mountain that we look upon should crumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea.
I think one of the positives of the peer tutoring is that the tutors themselves have recently been through the process, so they're really good at providing useful exam technique advice, and they've also, the former students who are now at college studying A-level, they've been through the whole college application procedure, and they're good role models, which is really important.
My name's Tamr Islam. I'm an ex-student from Forest Gate School. I currently study at Ilford County High School, studying biology, chemistry, physics and maths.
Over the course of the year, I've seen students and their tutors develop very strong relationships, particularly between the year 10s and the 11s, because they see each other around the school. So I think they can build on that in their own time, and students can approach their tutors and just have a quick feedback and discussion about work the tutor set them over the course of the week.
My tutor, I knew him before he became my tutor, so I was more comfortable with him and I learned a lot more easier.
Yeah, and positives about having like a teacher rather than an adult is that they went through the same thing as we are going through right now, and they understood our problems.
I found some of the topics in GCSE maths pretty easy, so I thought the other students would be the same.
Before with bearings, I used to struggle and I used to panic when it came up in the exam, but now he gave me 3 easy steps to do it, and now I can never get out of my head. The first step is to always start from the north line.
I'm more secured with trigonometry and Pythagoras because he's helped me a lot for the past 20 lessons I've had with him, and then obviously now I've got different ways to work out how to get the answer for the trigonometry and Pythagoras to a teacher who would give me the answer.
In Sokotoa, it has an angle in it, but you have to notice if it has an angle in it. But sometimes Pythagoras looks the same as it, so sometimes you get mixed up with the two because one has an angle and one doesn't.
I found STEM and ETH a lot more easier. I found simplifying much more easier, and fractions as well. Because before I used to struggle with them and they used to make me lose marks in my exams, but now I'm confident in getting marks.
I didn't understand STEM and ETH because my teacher, when I used to ask him, he used to run through it, but it wasn't really clear. And since the 12 sessions, I understand it fantastically, and I got 3 marks in my exam paper, which was really surprising.
In reality, the students sometimes found concepts that I found easy pretty difficult, and it was hard for me initially to understand why this was, but once I sat down with the students and I began to tutor them, they have some weaknesses that need to be addressed, and once you address those weaknesses, they do actually find it pretty easy.
When we've had all the year 10s and the year 11s in a room and 14 students arrive, at the end of the hour they go, and another 14 are waiting and come in, at the end of the hour they go, and between the students and the tutors, I don't have to do anything. It's organised and it ticks over so nicely, and the feeling of industriousness in the classroom is very impressive, as you can hear all these tutors explaining these ideas in the way that makes sense to them.
Positives about having like a teacher rather than an adult is that they went through the same thing as we are going through right now, and they understood our problems.
And I think the evidence of the success of this, obviously aside from results, the evidence of the success is when you try and move a student to another tutor and they don't want to go, because they've built that relationship over time. And that's what has impressed me.
At the beginning of the session, it was quite awkward and I was uncomfortable as I didn't know him. But as the time went on, I got comfortable and we began to build a relationship, and it was easier to talk to him, and he used a lot of methods which helped me in my exams as well.
The peer tutoring role has given me a new understanding of how students think, and it's taught me to be patient.
When you're with a person that's just 1 year older than you, you don't have that much pressure, because if you get something wrong, he won't like start getting aggressive or angry because you got something wrong. He will just help you, and then he will say, no, this is wrong, do this way. He will tell you his own ways, which will be different to what an adult will say to you. So then you have two different ways to find one answer.
Obviously there is an advantage with an experienced tutor who knows the subject a lot better inside out. But when you can make it work, peer tutoring is amazing, because there's a level of commitment and enthusiasm for it from the tutors, and high expectations which actually take me by surprise when you hear the tutor telling the student, this is unacceptable, you're not going to pass if you have this attitude, etc. They've obviously heard it off their own teachers. So I think it is harder to get right, and the groundwork needs to be laid in terms of giving the briefing and the preparation to the tutors. So for example, letting them know in advance what the work is going to be and giving them success criteria to work from, things like that. But if it can be done right, peer tutoring every time.
Before I started intervention, my level was quite low. It was at a very low D, and as I'm in top set maths, it was quite shameful for me because everyone in my class was getting B's and C's. But since I started intervention, my level increased really quickly, and I understood the work more as I got all the attention. I was comfortable with my peer tutor.
Since this is my first job outside of education, even though I'm still at college, this is a great way of introducing me to the world of work. I've improved my skills. I thank First Gate for giving me the opportunity. They could have employed someone else, but they employed an ex-student, which was pretty great on their behalf.
Working with a peer, like 1 year older than us, is better than a teacher, because you learn quicker, you understand more because they're the same age as you, and you get along with a peer more than a teacher.
And now I see it's improved me in terms of my skills and my experience, and it will help me benefit me after I finish university. Even though I may not want to become a teacher right now, it may change my outlook on work in terms of different opportunities like accountancy, mathematics, engineering. So it's very beneficial for my life.
They have got the ability to get C's, no doubt. The biggest obstacle you're going to come with is they're going to be lackluster. So you need to motivate them. You need to give them that enthusiasm, that inspiration. Look, I can do this. Because they're going to be very demotivated and very demoralized. So it's up to you guys to really transform them, really change them. All right? If you're positive, if you give them positive feedback, they will feed up on it and they'll think, I'm doing good.
I think one of the things that's made the intervention successful in maths is that the head of learning for Year 10, Mr. Ahmed, former maths teacher, knows many of the tutors from having taught them himself. We've put in the groundwork in setting expectations in terms of what we want from the tutors, and they've risen to that.
When the sky has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand out, stand by me, stand by me. When the mountain that we look upon should crumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble through the sea.
I was scared when I came here, and I actually thought I might have failed maths, which was a crucial one. Came here, looked at my results, and I got a C.
I was like en route to failing English, but I got a B, so it shows that they do help.
was so bad at maths, I used to get D's and F's, and I had no future on maths. But then in year 11, he worked with me in one-to-one session, yeah. Then I got a great C.
Yeah, we pushed him to do the GCSE maths and he will tell you what he got.
I received the late star this year for GCSE maths, the linear one, and I'm actually quite happy.
I didn't expect anything less. I was that confident that he would get an A star.
Just work hard in school, all the teachers help you, and you will succeed.
Thank you to every teacher that helped me to stay after school and work hard for all of these grades.